Gay microaggressions? Who cares? So I'm guessing I'm not the only person that has noticed that gay guys don't actually care about supposed microaggressions. Am I? When was the last time you actually heard somebody say that something was a homophobic microaggression? Granted, I'm not attending or teaching at the university right now, so I am not in the belly of the beast of paranoia culture. But still, I am certainly on the internet constantly, and I have hundreds of gay friends on social media, and they literally never talk about it. The only time I remember somebody talking about microaggressions that was a gay guy, he was writing a paper for school. But he had to ask his Facebook friend list about why gay guys don't talk about it so much. Do you want to know what I really think about it? Well, it's a few things. Namely, the fact that microaggressions are just an invention of fourth wave intersectional feminist SJW culture, which hates gay men unless they can tokenize them in some specific way, like being a person of color or being in a wheelchair. Also, gay men have a particularly thick skin, but I'll get back to that later. If we did want to talk about microaggressions towards gay men, it would be very possible to do it all the time. But it gets complicated because if you were to implement microaggression culture to the gay male demographic and train gay guys to react to microaggressions in the same way that women, people of color, trans people, or disabled people do, many popular current feminist sayings would now qualify as microaggressions against gay men. Saying, all men are rapists could be considered a microaggression to a gay guy. What if he is a total bottom and has never stuck his dick in a guy's butt in his entire life? That could trigger him. Simply talking about the idea of male privilege could be a homophobic microaggression too, because it discounts the fact that gay men are more than 250% as likely to suffer from a violent hate crime as lesbians, and compose over 60% of the total occurrences of hate crimes in the United States. Even just bringing up the idea of toxic masculinity could be considered a microaggression against gay men, because most gay men are attracted to masculine men. I could obviously go on, but the clear conclusion is that current fourth wave intersectional feminism and the majority of gay male culture is at odds with each other in many ways, and therefore, instead of trying to find common ground, the feminists have tried to delete gay men out of the category of an oppressed people, very deliberately, because there are too many exceptions to their rules within gay reality, so they had to erase our realities out of their picture to make their narrative appear momentarily to make sense. Because as the feminist pathology goes, narrative over fact. Other gay male microaggressions could be considered calling somebody a cocksucker, or a girl saying that she should set up every gay man with her other gay friend. A girl could even simply ask a gay guy if he wanted to go shopping, and that could be considered a microaggression by the standards of SJWs. But I don't feel like gay men ever care about these things. I think more than the fact that us gays haven't been brainwashed by feminist propaganda clickbait sites like Everyday Feminism to be constantly paranoid about these supposed cultural infractions, gay men simply don't care very much because gay men basically universally suffered so much overt abuse based around their identities growing up that they learn to tune out that oversensitive part of their brain that would pick up on these problems that you have to actively look for with a magnifying glass to be offended by. I'll ask a simple question for my audience. How many times do you remember hearing kids say the word faggot in middle or high school? How about calling somebody gay as an insult or saying, that's gay? Let's compare that to the N-word. How often do you legitimately remember people using that word who weren't black as an actual racial slur? If you did live someplace where these two things were equally common, let me know in the comments. My middle school was about 80% black, and it was a bit more like this. We'd be in class, and I would be trying to do my schoolwork. Yo, what's up? Hey, what's up? What's up? Yes? Yo, do you like chocolate? Is this a trick question? Do you like chocolate? I have a feeling I'm gonna be screwed no matter what I say. Oh, come on now. You don't have to be like that. Do you like chocolate? Are you going to make this about skin color somehow? Because your jokes have been really predictable this semester, Terrell.
Man, I ain't talking about race, white boy. I have this Twix. I might share it with you at lunch. You want it?
Not particularly.
Well, I'll give you both of them if you can take them and shove them up your ass and show everybody. We all know you like chocolate in your ass.
Now, if I had exhibited anywhere near the level of offensiveness about my peers being black, I would have not survived longer than a week without having to eat through a straw during school. And I'm guessing that the vast majority of people my age and younger had somewhat similar experiences. No matter how bad it still is to be black in America, the level of overt homophobia, especially amongst younger people, is probably a lot higher. But really, I sincerely think overall that microaggressions are just kind of silly. The only people I know that talk about these things have been trained by feminist blogs and SJW courses to care about things they never cared about prior. It's like ripping out the stitches before a wound is healed. The lifelong wound of simply being a minority of any type. The sad fact is that people who want to live in a world without microaggressions are downright delusional, because by asking for this, they are asking for a world without having white people occasionally want to know what it is like to touch black hair, or to ask an Asian person where they are from, or to ask a trans person which sex they were born with. It's as if to basically demand that the entire world pretend that you are not actually a minority at all. And even if you did convince everybody, say, above the age of 12 to play along in this fantasy where nobody committed microaggressions, even though they are not supposed to be colorblind at the same time somehow, according to social justice logic, even if people were somehow convinced to play by these rules, in 4 to 8 years, the younger kids will grow up and start committing microaggressions constantly, because nobody will have talked about being different than each other for years. So eventually, the younger generation will want to talk about it. And then they'll talk about it endlessly like we do now, and the cycle continues. So what do you want? I ask all of you, a world without microaggressions, or a world where we get to talk about what makes us different than each other? Personally, I don't really care if people talk about it, as long as productive conversations can be had, without all the common double standards, silencing, and insults that come from SJWs. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe. Thanks.